Bridport Apple Mummers! If I say cider, could you say you are? Cider! Cider! Cider!
I'm Martin Wardsley. I have been involved with the apple orchard for quite a long time, since I moved to Bridport, really about 5 or 6 years ago. In the wassails, I've done storytelling there, and in the last year we decided it was the 10th anniversary of the orchard, so we decided to do a Mummers play. So I also wrote and lead the Mummers play.
Right, shall we crack on, or shall we just do it through and see where we fumble, and then practice the bits that we got wrong, and then if needs be do the whole thing again?
If sunshine goes into the apple, then sunshine goes into me.
Last time!
Sunshine goes into the apple, then sunshine goes into me.
It's hard to know whether it's at the end or the beginning of the year, but it's when the apples are being harvested, and all the good people that have planted those trees have been busy harvesting them and squeezing them for the juice. And I think that's more of a kind of reflection of thankfulness of all the goodness of the apple, really, and the people that have worked hard in the orchard to make it so. And the apple tree itself is it's a symbol of abundance, isn't it? I mean, it produces these sweet fruit, and sometimes so many of them that the branches are almost weighed down. So there's a real sense of gratitude, of giving, of selflessness, and there's a lot of that around in the orchard. So it's about celebrating that.
So make room, y'all. Here comes the belle of the bar.
We've got lots of different characters that help that story along. There's the goddess of the orchard, Pomona. There's quite a fruity drag kind of character who's called Belle de Boscoop, which is one of the names of the apples.
Well, hello there, boys. I'm Belle de Boscoop, and I know you'll be feeling all cock up the hoop with my ripe rosy cheeks and my long golden hair. Help yourselves to an apple.
Hands off my pear. I travelled the seas in my pretty Dutch corset, and now made my home here in bonny West Dorset.
I planted this orchard with loads of trees and different apples, the locals to please. There's apples for cooking, and apples for eating, and apples for cider.
The villain's called Gordon Delicious.
His skin's so nice, but his corn is so malicious. Don't pay the price for French Gordon Delicious.
My sleeping beauty, I see a perfectly dastardly opportunity. I will steal your apples from right underneath your pretty little nose, and then everyone will buy my mass-produced apples from Waitrose. Or perhaps they will have more reason to buy them from Morrison.
In comes I, Johnny Appleseed, long in the legs and strong in the knees. I have travelled far across many lands, scattering the apple seeds with my own bare hands. Well, I've been to Africa, I've been to Europe, I've been to Asia, all from my little hometown in Appalachia.
This is from do you know Jill Lloyd? This is from her as a matron on the wards in London, St Thomas's Hospital in the 1950s.
Amazing.
And it's now Jill Lloyd, who was the chair of the Orchard Committee. Isn't it beautiful?
That's a 9-year-old child.
I haven't seen this around your broad shoulders yet, Tom. Oh, how sweaty are those broad shoulders?
Do you want a hat? It's a Tom Pat, is it?
Well, there we go.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, you look like Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, a Mummers play itself, it's a very seasonal thing. Again, it's around the darkness and the light. It normally has a character that is killed and then is brought back to life. There's always a doctor in a Mummers play who dispenses pills and potions and brings this character, whether it's a villain or whether it's the hero, whether when they're killed they get brought back to life, and maybe that symbolism of the darkness and the death in winter, and then the coming back to life in the spring.
I know this rotten apple was terrible and tasteless, But here in this orchard, nothing's ever wasted. We need to keep every apple variety surviving. So as goddess of this place, I say, let's revive him!
Hey! Is there a doctor in the orchard that can be easily afforded?
Doctor Who?
No, not Doctor Who, Dr. Roberts! Make room! Make room!
Ointments, rescued and remedy, that's what I've got. I, the doctor, I say, a drop of cider is a miracle reviver!
In this play, though, we've kind of slightly also drawn on a different branch, really, and that is the fact that all of our domestic eating apples across the world, including here in Dorset in England, have a biological ancestor in Kazakhstan. In a valley called Tian Shan Valley in Kazakhstan, and biological research has shown that the genetic diversity all stems from this orchard and has brought us down, and then it's adapted and changed when it's found its root in different places. So I wanted to really tell that story of.
But hey, y'all don't need to take my little old word for it. Let me introduce to you a man who's come all the way from Kazakhstan. Okay, folks, I'll see you later. Make room for Alma Ata. Wait for my line to finish. And you can have all of yours for yourself.
In any order.
Any order.
Here comes I, Alma Ata. I am so old, I really matter. I am Kazakhstani scientist. Listen to me for some story of bliss. In my long and lingering lifespan, I've been studying the jewel of Kazakhstan. Because in that most noble of distant countries lives the mother of all apple trees. The direct biological sister of all Malus domestica. Dorset natural apple, we love you DNA. But we love your Kazakh mother, the real, original DNA.
Alas, all my medicine is gone. Can you help me, anyone? I need the name of a local cider-making yokel.
Tom Potts!
Oh, in comes a little Tommy Pot. Slow to mature, but quick on the foot. All dressed in green in this apple leaf suit, making sweet nectar out of some fermented fruit.
Wow.
So here's an empty cider flask. To fill it up is my pleasant task. Are there any likely fellas who call themselves cider sellers?
It's not perhaps quite as old as people think sometimes, because it's got that sort of pagan feel to it, but I think really it's a sort of medieval England kind of thing. So it's been going for 100 years, and again it dipped and then it's come back again. But of course in those times, the agricultural workers, including the orchard workers, it was to be in a mummers play was a time when you would be able to go out to the lord of the manor and to the wealthy houses in the village and you know get a few more pennies, or to beg for money, or to ask for food and for drink. And quite often that's why the disguises of mummers, you see them often in rag. We're kind of a bit more open in our disguises, but traditional mummers might have rags completely covering their faces, or they might black out their faces, which seems a bit sort of anachronistic these days. But it was there for people to be able to disguise themselves so they could freely ask for money in return for a performance of a short little play that would move around the village. So it's got that sense of bringing together the sort of perhaps the richer end of local society and the poor workers, and tipping the balance a little bit on that day at least.
If sunshine goes into the apple, then sunshine goes in.